To Innerfaith Spiritual Center Worldwide, where we know that we're not here by chance, but we are here by divine appointment, and that we heard the call, we answered. So all of you who are viewing us this morning, this is compliments of Innerfaith Spiritual Center Worldwide, a divine idea in the mind of God, whose time has come, the time is now, and the place is where we are. We know that that ground of being is spirituality. In our way of life, it's not about churchianity, it's about spirituality. And as we come together with that recognition that we are moving out into life with this connection, this morning we're going to talk about our divine connection, that we are all intimately connected. Chief Seattle said, "We did not weave the web of life, we are merely a strand on it." What we do to the strand, we do to the web of life. So with great unconditional positive regard in acknowledging our divine connection, and that each of us is this amazing strand, so strong but at times so fragile. And through the fragility, to gather the strength to realize that there is a collective consciousness and there is a collective unconsciousness. And that our planet is the sum total of the collective consciousness and the collective unconsciousness. And as we come together this morning to acknowledge that there is a power for good in the universe greater than we are, and that we can use it, we are using it every single day of our lives. In this opportunity that we have to open our hearts and the space of God to allow God to do what God does best by means of us, because we are that vehicle of spirit, whatever name we put on God, Father, Mother, Yahweh, Buddha, it doesn't matter. But to acknowledge that which is within us is greater than that which resides in the world of conditions. That's right. The world of effects, the world of appearances that show up that we give our power away to and we think is so important. And if we can say to ourselves, what will this matter 1 year from now? What would this matter that I am just getting myself so worked up over this and my life force energy is going out to this instead of be still and know that I am God? Now that is my little mantra. Be still and know that I am God. And also peace, be still. Because I love the story that when everybody was all excited and they were all upset and the boat was just going every which way and the waves were just coming down, and they said, we've got to wake Jesus up. We got to wake him up. We're going to all drown. We're going to die. This is terrible. And they awoke him. And he just stood up and he said, peace, be still. And the waves calmed. And the energy smoothed, and there was a serenity. So to say to ourselves, peace, be still, whatever the emotional storm, whatever it is that we're going through, that is not the truth of us. Dr. Ernest Holmes, the founder of Science of Mind, who wrote the Science of Mind textbook, such a mystic in our times. He said, though I see the drunk lying in the gutter and the saint kneeling at the altar in ecstasy, I will see no difference. Each are expressing the one life in their own tongue. I neither condone nor do I condemn. So as we come together this morning, looking at that connection, that we cannot really judge anything outside of ourselves, that we are all deeply connected, and that when someone is acting other than who they are, that's a call for love and compassion, to send them the love and compassion, even though it may sting and pierce our hearts for a moment. And we think this is not who they are. But to acknowledge that there is a ground of being within them that is God, that is light, even though they may not be expressing it at that moment. That divine connection, and I love in the elegant universe on Nova, there is something called that Einstein, he named it the string theory, in which everything is deeply related in this string theory, that each and every one of us has this divine connection. And Einstein was a very spiritual man. Not many people know that, but he said, I want to know the thoughts of God. The rest are details. The rest are details. So then we start looking outside of ourselves. We got to realize, what do I need to learn from this situation? Before I start giving all my life force energy out to something that's not going to give back to me. What do I need to learn from this? I love the story about the dad that called his son and he said, "Oh, Dad," he goes, "Oh, son, this is your dad. Calling from Palm Springs, California, all the way to Seattle." And the son said, "Oh, so good to hear from you, Dad." He said, "Yeah," he said, "I just have to tell you, your mom and I are getting a divorce after 55 years. He goes, "What? Getting a divorce? This can't happen." He said, "Oh, yes, it can. I mean, she's nagged me, she's complained, I'm not good enough, I never do it right, I've had enough of it. I'm divorcing her tomorrow." He goes, "Don't do a thing." Calling my sister in Hong Kong, he said, "Don't do a thing." So he gets off the phone, he calls his sister in Hong Kong. "Mom and Dad are getting a divorce." She explodes. "This can't happen. This is outrageous." She said, "I'm flying right in. You call them and you tell them I'm flying right in." So the son calls the dad and said, "Don't do anything. We're flying. We'll be there the day after tomorrow. Don't do anything." Hangs up the phone. He said, "Honey, it worked. The kids are going to be here day after tomorrow on their own bill. They're paying their own way." Wow, it worked. So sometimes divine manipulation, the energy of, and I call it divine manipulation, is for a higher purpose. And those higher purposes reveal themselves to us as life unfolds. And we have to see the energy of the humor. We have to acknowledge that there is a power for good in the universe greater than we are. We are always using it. It's a divine connection. And through this divine connection, we move to the next level of our expression because we are a strand on the web of life. We are this amazing strings that are interconnected. The ancient Chinese call it the red thread theory, that we're all connected by a red thread. You can tangle it, you can stomp on it, you can stretch it, you can knot it, but you can never destroy it. That we're all intimately connected by this invisible red thread. And when we realize that, then we can really draw the larger circle. We can really acknowledge that, we're not going to agree with everyone. Not everyone's going to agree with us. I mean, it's just kind of the thing of life. It's about chemistry as well, and a vibrational match. And some of us fall out of vibrational matching, and then we move to another level, and new people, places, and things come in. And it doesn't mean that that was bad. It was very good. It was all part of our spiritual unfoldment. So we pronounce it as good. Every single experience, an event has ever occurred in our lives, we pronounce it as good. That, at the moment that we're going through it, it's not so good. We thought, "Oh my God, will this ever stop?" I always go to the place where it was perfect. That when I'm going through something, I go to the perfect place where everything was unfolding in divine timing, in love and compassion and energy. I go to that place so that my cells remember. And when my cells remember that place, then I can let it go. And I remember when I first understood what let go and let God meant. Everybody was saying, "Let go and let God." Oh, just let go and let God. And then what the hell does that mean? I'm going through this. This is serious. And then I got it one day. When something occurred and I could really let it go without energy, without judgment, without criticism, because every criticism we level is self-criticism. Every judgment we throw out is self-judgment. I got it. There was no energy. I just simply let it go. I let go and let God. I let a higher power move into my energy field. And I finally got what that meant, and I've been teaching it for years. I just let it go. But that feeling, that serenity, that all-encompassing, it's all right. Just breathe. Breathe through it. And when we breathe deeply, just take a deep cleansing breath. When we breathe deeply, we go to another place. We go to the place of spirit, where spirit lives. Remember, enthusiasm in spirit. That the enthusiasm of life is the energy of life. That when I'm enthusiastic about life, that I am enthused, I am in spirit, I am in that amazing energy. And when we're in that amazing energy, everywhere we go, we were in Istanbul, and it was so wonderful because everywhere we went, we felt like we knew the people. We felt that they had always been with us. We absolutely knew this. And it was so interesting because RJ said, oh God, I'm moving to Istanbul. I love it here, I love it. And we had this little joke because, you know, you hear about a lot of things in these countries, and I said, well, you know, the truth is there is such an energy here, and there's such an amazing vibration that we've lived here before. We've been here before. And I was sharing last week that everything's true about the Turkish men. Everything they say is true. I've had my hand kissed more times than I can count. And wonderful. Energy is fantastic, and there is an aliveness. And we were at an art show on Friday night. It was the Brian Mark. He's opened a new, and I think this is so courageous, to open an art gallery in the summertime, don't you? In Palm Springs. I said, I want to really honor you for opening your art gallery in summertime. And he said, and he was beautiful, he said, what better time to open an art gallery in the beauty of summer, where the mountains never quite look the same in any other season. And of course, Friday was the summer solstice, and there was that energy flowing through the art gallery right there on Arenas, on 170 Arenas, with the beautiful paintings and the artwork. And it was interesting. I saw a photographer, and he was bald and he was just adorable, and he was a biker, and he was a photographer, and he took all these abandoned places in the desert. You've seen them. There's like the one shack, and then there's the abandoned gas station, and so there's the one gas tank, right? And there's, you know, all of these places. And I was so drawn to the one with the lone, it was like just a lone gas tank, you know, that was abandoned. I said, this is so beautiful to me. I said, when my husband made his transition, and in our way of life, I explained, passed on, I had a dream. And I was crying in my dream and missing him terribly. And remember, I was widowed at 32 years old with a 7-year-old to raise. And in the dream, I was crying. And then I saw Neil at an old gas station, ancient, like one of those you'd see out in the desert that's abandoned. And he was standing next to this old gas tank, I mean, of all the dreams. And I said, oh my gosh, I've missed you so much. Oh, come back, come back. And he was standing, he put his arm on the old gas tank. He said, just like this looks like there is no fuel in it, but there is an energy in the universe, and it's flowing through everything. And I am all right. You are all right. Everything is unfolding in the divine. And I woke up. And when I woke up, I knew all was well. And so when I saw this fuel pump, I know that there is a divine fuel flowing through each of us. No matter how abandoned it looks, no matter how, you know, off in the distance it is, it's right where we are. And that when we have eyes to see and we have ears to hear, we get the divine messages. And I believe the desert gives us amazing messages. I believe that when I look unto the hills, from whence cometh my strength comes from the one. I know this, I feel this. So here is Brian Markey opening a gallery, and with amazing paintings and energy and aliveness. And, you know, and he had Rio Azul, which is a Mexican restaurant here in town, which is wonderful, did the catering. So then RJ and I said, no, now we're hungry for Mexican food. We're going over to Rio Azul. So out of them giving to this art gallery, we went over, and the place was absolutely packed on a Friday night. And I love this. I love that we are in an energy field that people say, do you stay in Palm Springs in the summertime? Yes, we do. We go from the air-conditioned house to the air-conditioned car. I'm in my pool every day. We make the adjustment. My daughter has gotten to where she calls me Lizard Lady. I like the heat. I really like the heat. And so I'm glad it's not forever. I'm glad it's just, a season. And then we're into paradise once again, where all the snowbirds will be back, living in paradise with us. So today, when we look at our divine connection and the opportunity that we have to just let go and let God do what God does best by means of us, is to realize that whatever is going on in our experience, this too shall pass. That every car attendant out there, when I park my car, because the spa hotel is closing on July 8th, said, Dr. Sharron, pray for me, I need a job. And I said, prayers are said that when one door closes, another one opens into a greater room with greater experience and expression. And I spoke my word, and we were all going to know, for the 125 employees of the spa hotel, that there is a place for them. And I shared that also with Martha, that there is a place for a catering manager as wonderful as you are. And I know that, and I accept that for you. So we come together, we look at the human condition. We look, that there's jobless, and there are people that are homeless, and we look at all the things on the planet. We can't seem to solve it all, but we can do our part. We can stand in prayer, and we can do our part. And when we give out the change to that homeless person, there but for the grace of God go I, that there is a connection there. And this is my brother, or this is my sister, or this is a disowned part of myself. Because it's about collective consciousness and collective unconsciousness. So let's embrace each other, realizing that divine connection, that we did not weave the web of life. We are merely a strand on it, and with great unconditional positive regard, we say Made, Igbo tribal word, the good that is. Made, the Made within me salutes the Made within you, and the Made within you salutes the Made within me. And if I am in that place of goodness and truth within me, so are you, because we are divinely connected at the very deepest level. And when we open the space to allow God to do what God does best, we know intuitively that God always gets the job done, because we are co-creators with that energy, the field of all possibilities. And so I stand before you today with that knowingness that we're going to leave here, but we're going to take some of this energy, this ancient Indian energy with us. We're going to leave our love here as well. And that the very walls within this spa hotel are going to feel what has gone on here and be resurrected. Because as the great master said, destroy this house, and in 3 days, I will build it up again. God bless you. I love you. And we are what? Going higher yet. Where are we going? Higher yet. Where? Higher yet. And so it is. God bless you.